was 15 years old, my youth pastor's wife started sharing with me about how she had gone to Uganda, Africa, and served for 6 months, I believe, just as a missionary. And I had never heard of Uganda, Africa, and so that was the first time that I was ever exposed to a country like that and just the needs that they may have. So when I was 18, I did this kind of local association mission project. We prayed for our city, we prayed for our state, our country, and then like around the world. And at the station for the world, there was a poster board of Uganda. And one of the specific prayers that they had were talking about the child soldiers and little girls being abducted to be made sex slaves. And that was the first time that I had ever learned anything about that. And from that point on, I knew that one day I would get to go to Uganda. I just never knew when. And so every opportunity that would come my way, I would pray about it and I would try to run through that door, but God would always shut the door. Finally, when I'm 25, God calls me to go to Uganda. So from 15 to 25, that's 10 years that I have been kind of interested in wanting to go to Uganda, and finally the opportunity comes in the middle of seminary. I spent 4 months in Uganda, from August 2012 to December 2012. I went through a very small, very new nonprofit called Mavuno Ministries, and the missionary on the field just said, right now we're trying to reach the children of Uganda and the widows of Uganda, and come alongside the pastors who are trying to reach their villages. There's a definite need for an orphanage and a safe place for children. I saw many women who are struggling to take care of their children because either their husband has died from disease or their husbands are not faithful and have no desire to be a loving husband and a father. One of the children that I met in Uganda was baby James. He was 4 months old when I met him, and he was a product of rape. We were able to come alongside James and his family and get him the procedure that could fix his tongue so that he could swallow. We provided milk, we provided millet, had it ground into porridge for him. And the beginning of March, I found out that James died. I can't even begin to explain to you how God broke my heart over this child, because I really strongly believe that had Mavuno Ministries had the orphanage already, that James could have been there and James would still be alive. And so I began praying about it and asking people to join me in prayer, that God would speak clearly about what he wanted me to do. So someone in the community group suggested a documentary. Looking at my community group, and the people that got a place around me are passionate about film. This is what they love to do. And so I could just see God's providential hand had placed these people around me, knowing that there is the need, seeing it firsthand, meeting these people that Mavuno is impacting. I want to help, and that's why we're making this documentary, not just for a documentary's sake. That's just in vain, and that would be stupid. But we see a work that God is doing in Uganda, and we want to help bring that work to fruition. My community group is the reason why I'm doing this documentary, a huge part, because before anyone even suggested in my community group that night, I had no idea, I guess, why I was being so burdened to do something. I didn't know what doing something for these Ugandans and for Mavuno Ministries looks like until someone said, let's make a documentary. And then seeing their passion and their support, it made me feel less silly. It's so evident that God knew this was the group of people that I'd be sharing life with, and this is the group of people that I would be walking through tough times with. So it's exciting to see that God has invited us all to be a part of, I guess, that chapter of his story. My name is Christi Castleberry, and I am a part of God's story.